Here. If you can hear my voice coming through loud and clear, jump into the chat real quick. Let me know that we are coming through. You can put a number one. You can put a hey Ben. You can do whatever you want to do, but I just want to welcome you all to this very special kickoff call. It is so great to see you guys here, and I hope you are as excited as I am to get started with SeekLetter. And this is one of the things that I have been. I'm just extremely excited about this tool because what we're effectively doing, and I want to just be real clear on the front end here of what this effectively does. How many of you over the last few years have gone through the struggle of creating a sellable digital product? How many of you have done that? Like, it's hard. And I'm not ever going to be the person that tells you it's hard. Even with AI, even with all these things, creating a sellable digital product is hard. Creating something that you can continue to sell over time is even harder. And I want you guys to understand what we are striving to do here is to make it easy. And this is something that this is stage one of this. And we're going to keep moving on with some things here. But you guys have a tool that pretty much no one else is probably going to have. I've got a few more people that we're going to be like kind of giving a chance at this. But you guys are pretty much the ball game on who's going to have this version of it, which is the version that you invest one time in. And so if you got here, I just want to say congratulations, give yourself a hand. This is something that is going to be a tool that you could build a huge business with. And it makes creating a digital product that is something people will pay you for and will pay you for over and over and over again. And it makes it a lot easier than what it used to be. And so, yeah, I'm excited that you guys are here. So let me give you kind of a breakdown of what today is going to be. Okay, what today is going to be. Today is going to feel like we are in a mastermind together. I had a whole slide with a bunch of sections and things like that. And then I kind of figured out they just want to see me set this thing up. They want to see me build these things from scratch and, so you can kind of see how to do it yourself. And then they want to talk to me about how to grow them. Am I right? And I don't think we have to be stuck in slides to do that. I think my favorite trainings are the trainings where people are actually doing stuff. Give me a yes if you're on board with that. If you'd rather stare at PowerPoint slides, we can do that too. But I would much rather actually take you guys through it and show you, how to actually do this step by step. If you agree with me on that, give me a number one in the box right now. Don't be a stranger if you are just logging in and saying hello. Yeah, I want you guys to jump into that. So yes, this is a Chrome thing. Can I use a Mac Air? Yes, this won't work on like iPads or iPhones, but it will work on an Air, anything like that. Anything where you can run the full Chrome browser. Yeah. So yeah, Ross says access will be provided after today's call. Yes, absolutely. You guys will have instant access while you guys are on the call. Ashton is going to be adding things to your members area. Don't jump into the members area while we're on the call because you want to pay attention to what we're doing. But the second that this call is over with, you guys jump back to the members area and you guys will have access. Give me a yes if this makes sense, just so you kind of know how getting you guys the tool and all the stuff. Yeah. So Donna says, I'm really interested in how to do a local newsletter on local news and events. Awesome. I'm going to get to show you that on behalf of a local biz. Cool. Here's the thing. As I go through this stuff today, and we go through sponsorships, we go through newsletters, we go through the various ways to build these things and how to use this tool to do it. Feel free to ask me questions as we go, and I will answer your question. The benefit of being here for a live training rather than me just putting a bunch of stuff in front of you is you guys get to ask questions, and I'm not going anywhere until I answer them. So I hope you're as excited as I am today. We're going to get into it. We're going to get started. And I'm not going to waste any more time with preamble. Let's get into the ball game and talk about what we're going to talk about. So there's 4 parts to this main training. I'm not going to gap this up with like stuff in the members area. We're just going to be covering all this stuff as we go. Give me a yes if that makes sense. Give me a yes if this makes sense. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, so I want you guys to understand we're going to be going through this stuff real simply. But I'm gonna be covering everything kind of in one little spell here. So that's the first thing. The next thing is we've got some bonuses that I think are really important. There's another bonus that you guys already have access to, which is kind of a behind the scenes of some of the biggest newsletters out there. How many of you enjoyed that bonus over the last couple of days while you were waiting here to be here live with me? Give me a yes if you enjoyed going through that. It wasn't like a full-on book, but it was, like I said, I wanted something to where we gave you a summary of what these newsletters were, how they were put together, and what I wanted you to see is kind of how you could click out into other articles, which was kind of the works cited for every section. And you guys could do that. So the question in GoToWebinar, Bruce, we are kind of just in the questions box. You won't have much of a chat with that. So let's see here. I haven't seen the Monas mini book. Okay, it's in the members area already. If you missed it, no worries. You'll enjoy that. But the idea here is this is what we're going to be covering today. But I'm not going to sit here on the slide long. I'm just going to get into it. If you guys are ready to rock and you're ready to see this stuff, give me a big number 1 in the box, and I'm going to get into it because I want you guys to start using this tool as quickly as possible. Okay, excellent. I got a lot of number 1s. If you haven't typed a number 1 in the box yet, make sure you get that number 1 in the box for me. And we're going to get into rocking and rolling with this thing like right out of the gates. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about setting this thing up. All right, part 1, setting up SeekLetter. Let's get into it. Couple of key things that I want you guys to understand of what you're going to need here to pull this off. Like, you can do this however you want. I'm going to show you preferred ways to do this so that you keep it simple. Give me a yes if you understand that we're going to do our best to keep this as simple as possible. Everybody good with this? We're going to keep it as simple as possible because you don't need to be complicated. And here's what I want you guys to understand. The biggest newsletters in the world started off with something that you got, like most of them started off with kind of a setup that you guys would laugh at because you guys are OG internet marketers, right? Like a lot of you have been around this for a while, and I want you guys to understand, I know you've been around this for a while. You'd laugh at how some of the biggest newsletters in the world that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars a year, how they started out. It was very simple because here's what I need you guys to understand about the newsletters that you guys are going to put together. You don't have to be the star of the show. Give me a yes if you understand what I just said. You don't have to be the star of the show. Your, web pages don't have to be elaborate and all that jazz. All you got to do is you got to pick a topic that's cool, that people are into, that people have money and would spend money on, and then put out a good newsletter using the tool that I'm going to give you today that makes it pretty stinking easy. So let's talk about some of the things that you're going to need to do that, though. First thing is you're going to need the SeekLetter software. Okay, so you're here, you've got that. We're going to show you how to use that. You're going to need an Anthropic or OpenAI API key. I'll show you how to do that. No big deal there. You're going to need an autoresponder and an opt-in page builder. Now, I need everybody to understand something about those last two things. I don't care what you use. Give me a yes if you understand this. There's nothing about SeekLetter that makes you use a certain tool. SeekLetter was designed to be autoresponder and opt-in page agnostic. Okay. The idea here is that you can use just about any of these things and you can use SeekLetter to do it. Now, today, just so you guys know, I'm going to be using ActiveCampaign as my autoresponder, and I'm going to be using NetEngine as my opt-in page builder. That does not mean that you should. That does not say that I am recommending those things. That's just what I'm using for the examples today. But SeekLetter doesn't care what you use. SeekLetter should work with most major autoresponders and most major opt-in page builders because, like I said, it doesn't have really anything to do with that. It has to do with putting together things that you could use with those no matter what you're using. So if you are here and you're like, well, does it work with this? Does it work with this? It probably does. Okay. So real simply, I want to keep this simple. Those are the big things that you guys need. Okay. Are there other names for autoresponders? Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of names for autoresponders. What I'm kind of talking about is your get responses, your AWebers, your active campaigns, your go high levels, like things like that. Is opt-in page also a funnel builder? Yes, absolutely. If you like, when I say opt-in page builder, I mean somewhere where you can build a web page, and it includes the functionality to build an opt-in form. That's all. And you'll see what I mean when I show you how simple this is to build these things. Just understand that I mean it. Like, I've not seen too many tools out there in terms of page builders that don't do what we need to do to make this work. And so we'll get into that. Something else that if you're a little worried about following along with me, I want you guys to kind of like lock in with this. I have a manual for you guys, and that manual is going to cover the vast majority of setting this thing up and how to use it. And so just understand, not only am I going to teach you here live, but I have put together a manual for you guys that is going through this. Also, something that I thought might be handy that I've included in the third chapter of this manual, which is just a quick little 13 to 15-minute video of me walking through setting this thing up from scratch. Give me a yes, this makes sense to you. So if you don't want to come back and watch this full video, this kickoff call, I think that you can really get going with just what's in the manual to get started and get moving. And I did that to save you guys time and, give you kind of a behind the scenes without having to go through, a full on webinar. So yeah, one of the questions here, and this makes me laugh every time I get it, but I'm going to say it. Ben, do you sleep? How many of you feel like Ben has gets a lot done in a short amount of time? And yeah, and I get this question a lot, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I will say this. I have real good systems. I just have really, really good systems. And I want you guys to understand the way that I get a lot done is I leverage AI a lot. I leverage my team a lot. And my team has great systems too. And so I want you guys to understand that when you're doing any of this stuff, it's all about having a system. And I say that and I tell that story, and I answer that question this way because SeekLetter is just a system that has been packaged up into a tool that gives you the system. Give me a yes if that makes sense, or a number one in the box. SeekLetter is following a protocol and a system that I've been following for a very long time, but it puts it into a package, into a software that you guys can leverage, a system that I use, that my system was based on really, really successful things in the newsletter space that were already going on already. And I want you guys to understand that that's what we're doing as we go from here. Okay, so if you guys are cool with it, give me a big number 7 in the box if you want to go set up SeekLetter together. And then we're probably not coming back to the slides. Okay, we're probably going to stay in the browser once we get to the browser, because I think that it's a much more functional way for us to do things. And yeah, okay, so I got a lot of number 7s. If you haven't typed in a number 7, I'd love to see your name pop up in the chat. Feel free to do it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You could always just be the person sitting in the back of the class, not raising their hands. I know you're there. I know you're watching, and that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. So it's good to see you guys. Okay, so right now what I want you to do is let me know if the SeekLetter manual popped up on your screen. Did it pop up on your screen? Give me a yes if so. Yep. Cool. Before I get into actually setting this tool up for you, I wanted just to kind of give you a layout of like what's waiting for you. This will be in your members area along with the plugin or / extension, I guess is the best way to put it. And I just want to point you to this third chapter here where it's setting things up. And there is a 14-minute and 41-second video that will walk you through setting up SeekLetter from scratch. So if for some reason you fall asleep during my explanation right now, that video is waiting on you guys, and I want you guys to make sure you understand that. So all of this is nicely set up inside of our SeekDocs tool. For those of you that are SeekDocs user, this looks really familiar. Shout out to SeekDocs, because SeekDocs makes it easy for us to put these manuals together for you guys, and it makes me really happy because it also looks good when you guys get it and it's easy to get to you. Hey, what's up, Robert? How you doing, man? So first things first, let's talk about installing SeekLetter. Give me a yes if you can see the window that I just dragged onto the screen where you can see a couple files on my desktop. You see that? Anybody see that? Cool. So you have one of two things that, depending on what package you bought. You've either got SeekLetter Solo or SeekLetter Agency. Today for the training, I'm going to be using the Agency package. And what I'm going to do is when you get this downloaded, you're going to see a zip file that looks like this. I want you to unzip that file. And you can do that just by clicking on it. And does everybody see we've got a folder that says SeekLetter now? Give me a big number 1 in the box if that makes sense so far. Cool. So far, so good. Excellent. So now that that is unzipped, and this one's sitting on my desktop right now, but now that that is unzipped, you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this out. And we are going to go to this URL. Does everybody see Chrome extensions on your screen? Chrome extensions on your screen. Rob says, I have the agency license. Do I need to install the single user too? No. You install one. You either install the agency or you install the single, but it's just one. All right. So we're going to go to Chrome / extension. You guys get, I'm not going to read all the characters, but you guys get the idea. It's Chrome extension. This is your extension setup screen. Now, what you're going to do if you haven't done it already is you're going to go up here to the top right and you're going to turn on developer mode. Give me a yes if this makes sense. We're going to turn on developer mode. And what this means is you're going to be using this tool without having to go through the Chrome store. Okay. From here, we're going to go to load unpacked. Okay. Load unpacked. And since this is on my desktop, I'm going to select my desktop and you can see the SeekLetter folder. You do not select anything inside of this folder. You just select the SeekLetter folder and we click select. Does everybody see how that works? Give me a big yes if you saw how that works. The second that you install that, you are going to see the SeekLetter settings screen. Okay. So once we have the SeekLetter settings screen, you can use OpenAI, you can use Anthropic, you can go to Google, you can just click on a link inside of our manual, which is you're adding your API key. You'll notice in the manual, we have something that links you to these API key areas, and you're going to see something that looks like this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to create a key, and I'm going to call this, SeekLetter Workshop Key. And that's just because I'm labeling it for this. I'm going to select my workspace. We're going to do default this time, and I'm going to put add. And so does everybody see the key that is on my screen right now? Give me a yes. By the way, I'll delete this key later so nobody can come back and read it and steal it and run up my bill. Keep that private. What you want to do with this is when you get this key, you probably want to keep this key handy because once you click close, you will not be able to come back and grab this key. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to go back in and we are going to open up our version of the settings here, which I showed you before. We're going to paste our key into here like so. And then we're going to click test and save. Does everybody see that API key verified and saved? Give me a big yes if this makes sense so far. If this makes sense so far, give me a big yes. Okay. Now, there is one more thing. We're going to set up some newsletters live here in just a minute. We're going to start off with one that I prepped for you guys. I'll show you how I did this from complete scratch. But before that, I want to show you this last screen, which is the utility, data, and backup. Give me a yes if you see this. Utility, data, and backup. It's like your third little box there, right? Put a 3 in the box if you see that. A couple key things are happening here that I want you guys to pay really, really close attention to. Okay, so really, really close attention to. The first thing is I want you to click replace newsfeed. And what that's going to do is when you click a new tab open, you're going to see this warning say keep it. And we're going to have a news feed that we're going to be using for our newsletters as we get going. Okay, we'll customize this in a little bit, but this is the key. Okay. Donna says, is there a difference between using the Claude or ChatGPT key for the newsletters? Not a whole ton, so don't really stress whichever network you're on. You're going to get really good results either way, the way that we've configured this. Okay, great question from Donna, though. So that when you click that little thing, you're enabling this feed. Now I'm going to show you exactly how to optimize this feed for whatever newsletter you're doing here in a couple minutes, but just so you know that that's how that works. And so I'm going to close this out right now because I don't need it. But that's the idea. The last thing is down here. Does everybody see data and backup? Give me a big yes if you see data and backup. Here's what I want you to understand. The data and backup screen is great for when you're using this tool on multiple computers. So for instance, you guys, every single day when I work, I'm typically working on my kitchen island with my laptop. And so when I come down here, I don't have any of my stuff from, that I've customized up there. But what I can do is I can export a backup file from my laptop upstairs, and then I can restore from backup by having that file down here. And so I'll have the same information that was on my Chrome extension upstairs. Give me a yes if this makes sense. And it's just a good way to back it up. If you have to like uninstall and reinstall Chrome or like anything like that, or like you want to, anything, backing up what you've done, the things that we're going to build today, that's a great practice because when you back it up, you've got these things as a backup. And if you had to uninstall and install, or you want to set up a new computer with Chrome on it and you're like putting the extension back, but you don't want to lose your data. This is key. Now, by the way, when you back up, not only does it back up all of your newsletter stuff, all of your bookmarks, all of your news feeds, it also backs up your API key, so you don't have to keep entering that in over and over either. Give me a yes if you understand the general idea of what the backups are, why they're important. Okay, good. I'm not going to spend much time on this stuff anymore. I just wanted to make sure you guys had a good idea of how this works. So since we got all that done, I'm going to go to newsletters, and this is the screen that we're going to use to set up our first newsletter. So far, so good? So far, so good? Give me a yes if this makes sense. Give me a yes if this makes sense. Okay, cool. So the idea here is, oh, by the way, this is just a service to you guys because you guys are awesome. This is just a service to you guys. If anybody has any trouble setting anything up and you just can't wrap your head around it for some reason, reach out to our support desk and we'll help you out. Everybody got that? Give me a number one if you heard me on that. If anybody should get stuck on any part of this, just reach out. Like, we would love to help you guys. I don't think anybody's going to get stuck on this, but if you happen to, we will not throw anything at you. We're going to be there to help you out, and we'll help you get it installed on your computer. No problem. Just say the word. All right. So from here, we go to newsletters, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a new newsletter from scratch. Before I do that, can I give you guys kind of a hack to, to doing this the right way? To doing this the right way in a way that can kind of be fun and even more fun and help you feel a little more prepared before you do this. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys to a Claude instance here. Can everybody see Claude on your? This is Claude, by the way, for you guys that want to see it. This is Claude, and I want to show you guys a chat here that I had with Claude. And you can have this same chat with Chat GPT, but I want to zoom in here so you guys can see this. And what I want to is, I want you guys to understand this. Here's my prompt. Can you give me some cool newsletter niches with a lot of blog sources that would make for a profitable and easy to grow email newsletter? Everybody see this? By the way, nobody here has to do this. If you already have an idea for your newsletter, go right ahead. But if you don't have an idea for your newsletter out of the gate, I kind of wanted to show you this. Give me a number 7 if you think this part's valuable. Just some tricks to kind of help you get started, even if you do have something picked out. Just some fun tricks. Now I want to show you how I used this. So here's what it said. Here's some strong newsletter niches with ton of content sources and solid monetization potential. And it gave me a few things. I kind of felt like I wanted to live in this space for our example today. Okay, health, fitness, and longevity. Guys, I'm 40 plus, and I, am getting really more focused on longevity, taking care of my body better than I did in my 30s and 20s. And so this one is like a personal interest to me. Can I give you some advice for happiness? Give me an H in the box if I can give you some advice for happiness. Listen, I have listened my whole career for like these hotshot kids in their 20s and early 30s say, follow the money. Go to niches where the money is. And yes, you got to go to places where people have money to spend. But I'm going to tell you guys, do topics that you're interested in, and you'll never actually have to work a day in your life. Give me a big yes in the box if you agree with that and you think that's decent advice. Pick something that you're actually into. Giselle says, do we need a domain name that matches our newsletter name? Sure, but don't worry about that yet. Okay? That's cart before the horse kind of stuff. And yes, it's incredibly important, but we'll get there. Okay? We'll get there. So health, fitness, longevity. So you gave me these things and went down, and it was kind of walking. And I said, you know what? Let's break down some fitness and longevity niches / sub niches. And so it kind of gave me this. And this was kind of the idea: biohacking, longevity science, strength training, endurance, nutrition. It broke down several things. I like getting down and getting more granular with the niche stuff. Okay. It gave me what they thought was going to be the most profitable of those. And I was like, you know what? Let's dig into the healthy aging stuff, because that's kind of where I'm like into right now. I'm into the healthy aging stuff. So here's a deep dive, and it went into this. 73 million baby boomers in the U.S. alone, all entering their 60s and 70s. A lot of disposable income, actively searching for solutions. They'll pay premium, to get stuff. And then he gave me sub angles to pick from. And so I looked at those. I kind of went into that. They gave me some content sources, some monetization opportunities. I really like the monetization opportunities because this is kind of giving me, hey, if I wanted to go after a sponsor later, this might be a good sort of setup here. Okay, so some good stuff here. Um, Gave me some newsletter angles that I thought would be good, and then I said, let's call it Prime After 40 because it kind of gave me some stuff about being in your prime, and I was cool. And then and then it was like, hey, give me some sources that I can maybe go from. And it gave me out a list of places to really go from. Okay, pretty cool. Then I said, you know what? We run a curated newsletter, so blog content is the premium for us. All right. And then it really dove into like some great blog content that I could go in and find. We're going to come back to this in a minute, by the way. All right. We're going to come back to this in a minute, by the way. And by the way, Prime After 40, I looked up and there's like kind of some podcasts and stuff that are already that already have that name. So I was like, can you suggest some alternative names? And it gave me some different, alternative names to go into. And what I ended up deciding to, one of the ones was called Refuse to Rust. I think there's a small band that's named that, but I kind of like that one. I was like, let's go with that one for our example today. By the way, I did all this morning in about an hour, just because I wanted to go from complete scratch this morning. So let's call it Refuse to Rust. All right. And then it kind of gave me, I was like, can you help me with a pitch for the opt-in page? And I'll get into this in a second. And this was one I liked. Okay. If you're feeling older and more tired than you are, Refuse to Rust delivers the science backed strategies every week to help you reclaim your energy, your strength, and edge after 40. All right. So, are you guys okay with maybe a joke that made me laugh that's going to be seen maybe as a little bit on the edge here? If that's okay, male and females, please answer this. This this made me laugh, but then I felt guilty for laughing, and I need you guys to see this next question that I ask. Can everybody see this next question that I asked? Give me a yes if you can see the next question that I asked here. The next question was, can you help me create a simple logo for this newsletter? Now, let me give you a little background here. What I think they were trying to do was give me something that sort of had that rust feeling, but I think they were trying to do a candle flame as my logo. Give me a yes if you hear me on this. I think they were trying to do a flame on a candle. But what came out in the logo felt like something that was a little not safe for work that maybe I could not use moving forward. And like I said, if you don't see it, then don't look too close. But like, I just knew the second I put this in front of the Serial Progress Seeker team that I was going to be laughed at and said, no, we cannot use this. And so if you feel me and you understand, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a flame. Put a number 1 in the box if you understand where we're going with this and why I was afraid to use this as the actual logo on the call. I wasn't even going to mention it. I wasn't going to show this part. But if I could share a little laughter with you guys, because I know that the AI was trying to be innocent here and help me out. But anyway, moving forward, no more. Here's what it is. So we got this. I had to do some things, but then I was like, you know what? No, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to do my own logo. So let's get into the logo. Okay, let's get into the logo. So what I want you guys to understand is a couple things here. There's a couple things that we're going to switch out of this mode, and we're going to get into me actually building what I built for you guys in the last hour before this call started, so you didn't have to watch me build from complete scratch. But what I've got for you guys is the first thing is I've got a newsletter logo template. This is not to go anywhere, like it's not something that's a public image, but this is like an image we're going to use over and over again. Can everybody see this? So I did Refuse to Rust. By the way, this is just a Canva graphic. This isn't anything that I came up with. I just typed strong or strength into the chat box up here, and it came back like with some stuff, right? It came back with, fit man, like whatever, like, and it came back with this. So I didn't do anything magic. And then like, I just got the newsletter stuff. And all I did here was I copied this one and I made it all dark. You'll see why in just a second. But does everybody see kind of what I'm doing here to create a logo? By the way, all you have to do to create a logo is I want you guys to focus on this. If you're creating a logo from scratch, I'm going to give you this template. your title, what your newsletter, who your newsletter is for, identify it as a newsletter, and then some logo above the top. Okay? So far, so good? Yeah, I've decided, and by the way, the reason this logo goes this way is I decided to niche down even further and not do men and women in my newsletter. I'm going to leave the women in the room to do that if you want to, or a guy if you want to do the female version. But I'm going to be focused on men over 40. So if I went in and I could actually say the newsletter for thriving men over 40, I could dial this in all day. But so far so good. Give me a yes if this makes sense, right? So this is going to be my logo. Now, once I had my logo, I wanted to make sure that I had the top of my newsletter so that I've got something that lives at the top of every single newsletter. Does everybody see how I just copied pieces of this and pasted it into this setting? Give me a yes if this makes sense. This is all Canva templates that you guys are going to have access to. But what I did was I just put an image in the background. I used my primary color, which is this blue, over the top. I went into this, blue thing here. By the way, this blue is just I just did this. I just went into shapes. I put this out there. I stretched this out and then I colored it blue. And then I just did kind of a transparency effect. So just like that, you guys can see that. That's what's in the background there. And by the way, to send it back, let me actually just kill this so you guys can see what I did. I kind of did this. I did this. I did this. And like I said, I showed you the transparency. And then I just pushed it back with position until my other stuff was in front of it. Everybody got that? Give me a yes if this makes sense so far. Okay. Ross says, and that's a picture of you in the background. Yeah, maybe someday. I'm working on it, Ross. I really am, but I'm definitely not there. So this is going to be the top of my newsletter. Does everybody understand? First, I made a logo. Second, I took the logo and I used it on the top of the newsletter, right? And so to do that, all I did was I copied everything here. I jumped to a new window. I pasted everything there. And then I just changed the colors of this stuff. So everything that I pasted over, I changed it to white so that we had that. Okay. And that's basically what I did. Now we've got our logo for use. I've got this. The last thing that you're going to have in this package for this newsletter template is you've got a picture. The beautiful part about this is you can take your picture here. By the way, let me just grab a picture so you can see how I did this. You can change this to fit your primary color, whatever this background is. But then let's just type in Ben so I can find a picture of me here. Here's a picture of me. Well, that's got my signature on it. Let me find one that doesn't have my signature on it. Well, we may be stuck with that, so we're going to do it. So I'm going to go background remover. There we go. And now you've got a picture of me too. Everybody understand these things kind of out of the gates. Give me a yes if so. So far, and all I'm doing, by the way, is I'm just creating some images for things I might need. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save this image. I'm going to download this image as a transparent PNG. I'm going to do both of these images. So we've got these images. We're saving these to our computer. Okay, so if I open these up, I'll pull the file over so you guys can see this. This is what it looks like when I open the file up. Okay. If you want to remain faceless, do you use the logo instead of your face? Yeah, you could do that, or you could do this. You could go into Canva and say, let's see here. And then I could just use one of these pictures. Or you could just use your logo, whatever you want to do. Now I'm going to download these. And I'm going to download these as full, so I don't want anything transparent here. So we're downloading those. I'll show you what we're doing with these in a second. And just to show you, now we've got these things on our computer too. Everybody understand now I have my core logos. I have my core logos, and I've got my newsletter topper, and I've got my picture for my newsletter. Okay. So here's best practices. Does everybody see this site, imagekit.io? Give me a yes if you see it. Remember, some of our images are going to live in email inboxes, right? When we send out the emails, it's going to live in an email inbox, not on a web page we control. If we host our images somewhere, we can change the names of the images, the file names. And if we wanted to change our image later, we could change it. And that image would still be, that would change even in all the inboxes we send it to, because we're not hosting the image in the email. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. ImageKit.io is a great place to host your images. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab my images here that I just downloaded. So I've got my newsletter images here. We're going to upload those. Did everybody see this? I'm just uploading these to this site. By the way, this is a free thing, up to so many images. So ImageKit.io is just a good one. I'm going to upload those. And then just so I have a good backup of it, I'm going to also upload my logos here too. Everybody see all these things, these 4 things that I've got here. These are going to come in handy in a minute. And I just want to make sure everybody can see these. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and SeekLetter. We've got our SeekLetter set up here. And all we're going to do is we're going to type in the name, refuse to rust. Everybody follow me so far? This is going to be our newsletter name. We're going to click add. And now it's going to ask us, hey, what are we doing? Health and longevity for men over 40. Okay. So that's kind of the idea. So my audience is men over the age of 40. Okay. Tone and voice, smart, factual, direct, but fun. Newsletter purpose: to help men over the age of 40 get healthier and live longer. Everybody, so far so good. Give me a yes if this makes sense. So far so good? Cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that image kits, and here's my newsletter masthead, as we call it. I'm going to copy this URL. So I'm just going to click on the little link there and it automatically copies, and I'm going to paste this in right here. Give me a yes if you see, oh, did I get the wrong one? I think I got the wrong one. So let's go back here. Let me make sure I get the right one. There we go. And you can tell in the preview. Oh, I know what it's doing. Give me 2 seconds. Both of these are named 1. So that's my problem. And so if they've got the same file name, you may run into a bit of an issue here. And so I'm going to rename this file to 3.png, or I can just type mast. You guys get the idea. So what it's doing is it's just going in and it's getting me set up for this. So now that I've got that renamed, it's masthead now. I'm going to go in and we're going to paste this in. Okay. So we should be good to go there. We should be good to go there. From there, author name. We're going to say Ben Adkins. Okay, let's go get our author a photo. I'm actually going to go ahead and change this because it's the same name. See, by the way, a little best practice. Does everybody see where I messed up and then named these the wrong things? And see, it actually even pulled up the wrong thing. And so let me show you how we fix this, because I don't like when it does these kinds of things, but watch this. I'm so glad it happened on the call so that we could actually handle this. Okay. I'm going to select a few of these and I'm going to delete these so that you guys can see what we're actually going to do here. Okay. So we're going to delete these, and let me go back to my save folder here, and I'm going to name these what they need to be. So I'm going to do this logo 1, logo 2. Sweet. We're going to call this main image, author image. Okay. Now that we've done that, we're going to upload these back up. I like it to be that everybody understands I screw up sometimes too. And I think that that's a healthy thing for everybody to see. So let's upload these. And it's good. Okay. I think it's super healthy that you guys see me fight with text sometimes. Okay. There's our thing. Now we get our author image. Cool. And I'm just going to use the Serial Progress Seeker website right now because I don't have a website that's dedicated to just this. Does everybody understand? And that's just fine, by the way. That's just fine. Okay. Now, the other thing is I want this accent color to match everything that we've already done. So I'm going to go back to Canva and I'm going to make sure I'm just going to select this text because it's got the color. I'm going to open up the color thing here so it shows me that color. And I'm going to copy this color code and I'm going to go back here. We're going to paste this code in so that it matches. Everybody give me a yes if you see that we've got kind of a nice matching brand now, right? Cool. What if you don't have a blank site? Can you leave it blank? Just type in, you could leave it blank. You could put in Google if you want to. You could always go back and change that, Giselle. Great question. So from here, I'm going to name my stories. Now, everybody, I want you to understand, the first story is a feature story. Feature stories have 3 to 5 paragraphs in your newsletter. Give me a 3 in the box if that makes sense. A 3 in the box if that makes sense. Sub features have 2 paragraphs. Give me a 2 in the box if that makes sense. Okay. Linked articles have 0 paragraphs. It's just a link. And then sponsored is going to have 1 paragraph. Okay, everybody give me a big number 1 if all of that makes sense. Now, here's what's nice. In each of your newsletters, even though it's a feature, sub-feature, linked, or sponsor, we can call it whatever we want. So I'm going to code featured story. I'm going to call this a also interesting. And I'm going to put this as worth checking out. And that's going to be what in my newsletter, those sections are titled. When I'm done, I'm going to click Save Newsletter. And now I have a saved newsletter ready to go. Give me a yes if so. By the way, this took a lot longer than it would normally take you or me because I'm explaining, I'm asking questions back and forth. But does everybody get a good idea of where we are with this? So far, so good? Cool. All right. Now, for those of you that are doing this, I want to show you something that I think is super key. What we're going to do is we're going to open up a window, just a blank tab. And because we set it up earlier, we have this newsfeed tab. Give me a yes if you see the newsfeed tab. So far, so good? Cool. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go in, I'm going to go with the plus, and I'm going to type in a keyword. I'm going to type in men's fitness. All right. And I'm just going to show this. I'm going to try to do over 40, but it doesn't have to be that. Let's see what over 40 actually returns. Okay. So we actually got some good things. Give me a yes if you see that we got some good things. Because we used so many keywords though, and it wasn't just simple stuff, you see the last stuff is 20 days ago. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go in and I'm actually going to do another custom feed. I'm just going to do men's fitness. Without the over 40 thing, because I think there's a lot of good things that we can get into here. Okay. So this is the over 40. This is the just the regular. You'll see we have a lot more stuff here. The last thing I'll show you, because I think this is really interesting on the feed thing, is you can always go in and do an RSS feed, or you could ask the AI to help you out. And the AI is going to read your settings and say, what might be a good keyword? And so we're going to go in and it's going to suggest some things. And like I said, some of this is good, some of it's not. Let's do sleep quality aging, because that could be good for my feed too. Okay, and we've got some really, really cool stuff that popped up. Give me a yes if you see the feeds that we built so far. So far, so good? Now, I want you guys to understand this, as you go, this is not going to be the primary way that you pull data for your stuff. It's going to help you, but it's not going to be the primary way the majority of you do it. The majority of us are going to do it via something we call bookmarks. So I'm going to go into the feeds right now. I'm going to click settings here and I'm going to turn off the trending feed because I don't care about that in here. I want some good bookmarks and I want some things here. Now, remember back when we did the research? Give me a yes if you remember back when I did the initial research for this kind of setup here, right? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to actually look at this. I'm going to go look at this Mind Body Green site. And so I'm going to go to this and I'm going to open this up. And so this is a website and I'm going to like scroll down and see like kind of what they offer here. They've got a lot of like, you know, articles here that might be really, really good. So I'm going to click into this and this is going to be a lot of articles, a lot of female stuff with this one. So it may or may not work, but I think I'd like to have it even so. Okay. So I'm going to keep that open for a minute. I'm also going to look at well and good here. And let's see, let's open that. And so this is the skim. And we're going to look and see kind of what we've got here. And I don't see a lot of what I'm looking for here, so I'm going to close that. We're going to look at verywellhealth.com. And when you first set up your newsletter, this is going to be one of the most important parts, but it's also going to be one of the most time-consuming parts. Everybody good with this? We've got a lot of stuff here. Let's look at that I think is going to be good. This is going to be a good site for me, so I'm going to leave this open, but I'm going to go looking for a couple more. So flipping 50, okay? I know we're over 40 stuff, but this probably is going to be something good for me too. So let's check it out. Okay. This looks like it's a women-based thing, so maybe I keep it, maybe I don't. Let's see here what else we got. Restart.med or restartmed.com. Let's see what it's got. Bum, bum, bum. Let's go to the blog. Lots of stuff here. Lots of stuff here. Okay, so I'm going to go with these. Everybody see that I just found some stuff. By the way, I do this once at the beginning, but as I develop my newsletter and I get more interested and I find more topics, I may do some refreshes of this, but just I want you to watch what happens. Does everybody see that I have 3 different things here that are like the main blogs for these things? Give me a 3 in the box if you see this. All right. What I'm going to do here, you guys, is I'm going to go up here to this puzzle piece. I'm going to make sure that I enable my SeekLetter stuff, and I'm going to open the SeekLetter sidebar. Give me a yes if you see the SeekLetter sidebar is now open. Okay, cool. So my first one here, I'm not going to add this to the bucket. We're going to use the bucketing later. I'm going to use the bookmark thing right below it. We're going to bookmark that. I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to bookmark that one. And then finally, I'm going to bookmark this one. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to my feeds and I'm going to hit refresh. And now you can see that I have these at my fingertips. So I can close these down. I don't have to search for where is the blog. I don't need the front of the website. I need where the blog is. And now I have bookmarked where the blog is. Give me a yes if this makes sense to you. If you want to go in and edit any of these names to give them different kinds of like things, you can edit the names. You can delete these out. But this puts your most used news feeds right at your fingertips every day. And if you add places that are constantly adding things on your topic, you're going to be pretty good. So far, so good. Give me a big yes if this is making sense. Like I said, a lot of this is the one-time stuff, the stuff where you're kind of setting yourself up and you're ready to go, but this is the beginning, okay? So from here, what we are going to do, and I'm going to kind of get you guys going with this, is we're going to go build our first newsletter. Give me a yes if you'd like for us to build a newsletter. This is going to be a free newsletter that we are going to build, and we're going to go rock and roll it. Would you like to start building it now? Would you like to start building it now? Okay, cool. Let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually just so we get rid of some of these other tabs right now, I'm going to pull this down so that we've just got this on your screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure the sidebar is open. You can see refuse to rust is the only one we've got right now. But if we had multiple newsletters in here, we could cycle between them for those of you that are going to be building a lot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this first, which is Mind Body Green. And I'm going to look at this one and let's get into this. All right. Now, obviously, I'm going to be doing this for the male fitness stuff. And so but I don't always want to lead to stuff that's got pictures of females for my males, but that's okay. By the way, I have some other sources I could go to for my main, but for this example, that's fine. Let's go in and let's add this to bucket. So this here is something that I think is a good sort of setup for me. So I'm going to add this to the bucket. Okay. And that's the idea is we're gonna get into like kind of some of this here. I'm gonna go back here and I may find something that's a little better for me, but let's just kind of take a look and see what we got here. All right, interesting. And I actually think that might be a better main article. So I'm going to delete that other one and just put featured as this one. Everybody see that? So that's my featured article. That's going to be like the highlight of that edition. From here, let's see what the other ones have here. Let's look at this one. I think I'm going to open up something that I know is a win here. So let's go with men's health. And I'm going to open up men's health. This is a big one for a lot of things. I'm going to actually get into men's health. I'm actually wanting to make sure that I get into this section here. And let's see if this is good. All right, we got some good stuff here. Yeah. Let's add this one. Okay. I may add a couple from this, but that's just a start. Let's go back to Google because I think this is good. Actually, before I go back to Google, let's add this as like a bookmark. So we'll bookmark this one too. Notice as I'm finding stuff, we're doing stuff. Somebody says, "What's the bucket?" The bucket is where we put articles. The bookmarks are where we put sites where we're going to find articles. Everybody here, give me a number 7 if that makes sense. A bucket is where we're putting articles that are going to encompass our newsletter. A bookmark is where we're going to find those articles just at a moment's notice. Okay, so I added that to my bookmarks, but let's actually go back and let's actually search a little more on here. So men's health, I'm just going to like men's health over 40. What does Google say? We can use AI, but what does Google say? And so dad's bod transformation, that may be like a sponsored. I'm betting it is. Yep. Okay. We're going to keep going. Men's guide to wellness over 40. This doesn't look like it's going to be a blog, but it looks like it might be something that could be really cool for our actual thing. So I'm going to add that to a bucket. Let's see what else we got. Fit beyond 40. That's a men's health. And is that a category? Oh, this is great. Does everybody see men's health has a section just for that? We're going to actually bookmark that for later too. So the idea here is here's a good Stanford article. We're going to add that to the bucket because that's going to be part of my newsletter. Does everybody see right now? I've got a featured article plus I've got 3 sub features. Give me a yes if that makes sense so far. That's going to be what makes up our newsletter. So let's see. This might be good to read. So lots of pop-ups, but that's okay. All right. So I'm going to add this to the bucket. That's one of our links. Since we have to, so this is from Rob. Since we have to create lots of content each week, how do you keep track of those topics so you don't overlap? When you find really good blogs, you guys, you're going to find blogs that are publishing content all the time. So you don't have to think about where do I find current content or how do I not overlap? Does that make sense? So that's the idea. And every time I do a search in the first 4 weeks of my newsletter, everybody stop and please listen to what I'm saying. Every time I do a Google search or an AI search or a feed search, and I find like if I go over to my feed and I see sleep quality aging, and I'm like, ooh, that could be cool. Let's see what we've got here. All right. And I'm going to add that. As I find these things in my feed, I'm going to look and see if the site that I'm on is maybe something I want to bookmark for long term. Does everybody understand that? Give me a yes if so. Give me a yes if so. The last ones I'm just going to follow from my feed here. And let's see here. A supplement here. We're going to add that. Does everybody see that right now I've got stuff for my bucket? So one of the questions is how do you bookmark? There is put into a bucket and there is bookmark. If you put into a bucket, you are building your newsletter. If you bookmark it, you are bookmarking it on your feed to come back to later right here because you may want to use the blog because I only bookmark things, you guys, and I want to make sure I distinguish the two. I only bookmark things that I think are going to be a constant source of new material for each week's newsletter. So bookmarks, I'm setting aside places that I think are content honeypots. Give me a yes if this makes sense. I'm setting aside places that I think are content honeypots for newsletters to come. When I put things into a bucket, I am building my current newsletter. So I have enough things. By the way, this is your standard. Your standard is one feature, three sub features, and at least three links here. When you get to the other side, you guys, you are going to have probably some sponsors down the road. Okay. Now, Nardo says how to organize things for multiple newsletters. So, Nardo, I want to tell you when you have multiple newsletters and you click this button up here, not only does it switch your newsletter up here, but it switches the bookmarks and your feeds here. Does that make sense? So every single newsletter will have its own set of bookmarks. It will have its own set of feeds that you have built custom for that. Everything is organized at the newsletter level. So when you change newsletters, and by the way, by the time this training's over, we're going to have multiple newsletters and I'll show you that. But that's the idea. Everybody so far so good. Give me a number one if you're so far so good and you're ready to see me do this. So we got our research done. We've got our first newsletter done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the images here. So there's an image for that one. I'm going to add images just for my main and my sub features. So we've got those. We're ready to go. And now I'm going to compile the issue. So the AI is going to go to work and they are reading all of this course stuff. Okay. They are reading all of this course stuff. And here is my first newsletter edition. By the way, you can change the background of this just by putting on that. And this is my first newsletter. Let me ask you a question. How does this look? How does this look to you guys? How does this look? Decent? Okay. So if you want to go in and change the date here because you're going to put this thing out later, change the date. You can change the date to whatever you want to put the date as, whatever your thing would go out. What it is going to do, it is going to take all of the articles that you added and it is going to build a summary intro. So here's the intro. Welcome to another edition of Refuse to Rust. In each edition, we help men over the age of 40 get healthier and live longer. This week, we're talking about the science behind staying sharp, keeping your heart in the game, and actually building muscle when life gets crazy. Now, I'm going to space these out a little bit. For my own sanity, you click into these things, and then it edits just like that. Okay? Make sense? We've got our first story. Now, this is not copying text from the website that we got. Give me a yes if you understand that. This is not copying text from the website. It is reading the website and it is summarizing the article. How do we handle copyright? At the end of every single one of these things, we link back to the original. Does this make sense? We link back to the original. So we're always attributing our sources automatically. Okay? Now, if you hover over this section, you'll notice this link and image. If you wanted to change the image to anything that's out there, you get the URL to the image, you put that URL there, and it will change the image here for that section. But I like to just pull from the ones that we did. Does everybody see that we've got this sucker ready to go? Give me a yes if you see that we've got this ready to go. Okay. Now, let me show you some power tips. Give me a power in the chat. Say power in the chat if you want some power tips that are going to save you a lot of time. I want you guys to imagine right now that I was about to get this newsletter ready to go, and all of a sudden, somebody rang my doorbell. And so I don't know when I'll be back. I don't know who's at my door. So what I'm going to do is I've not had a chance to export this. So I'm going to, or copy it. I'm going to save this newsletter. Everybody see the save button that I just put up. I'm going to save this newsletter. Also, let's say I had not compiled the newsletter yet, but I would just had my bucket put together and I was afraid I might lose that. you can go in and you can go right here, save, and it will save your bucket even if the newsletter hasn't been compiled yet. Everybody got that? Give me a yes if so. And what happens is later on, you can come back. Like, watch this. I'm going to close this out. So the newsletter is absolutely gone. Okay. The newsletter is absolutely gone. I'm going to close all these things that I had open. My newsletter's gone. It's not compiled anymore. I'm going to clear this bucket out too. This bucket is gone. But what I can do is I can go back in and I can open the bucket, and because I saved it, it will load my bucket up. Even if I've not compiled the newsletter yet, there is my bucket. I can rock and roll from scratch, right? But not from scratch because I saved the bucket. So let's clear these out. But let's say, hey, I actually did save my newsletter. Let's open that. There's my newsletter again, just as it was. Just as it was when I click save, and I can get back to it. Just some things that will get you guys good. By the way, if you were to open up this, if you were to open up your settings and you were to do a data backup like I showed you at the beginning, all of your saved buckets and your saved newsletters come with it too. Everybody understand that? Give me a yes. So if you decide you're moving computers and you install the plugin on a different computer, everything that you've got saved and backed up is going to come with you. Okay? So let's get back to this this newsletter here. So far, so good. Everybody good? All right. I'm going to actually close this out for a second so that we can get back here. I want you guys to understand we're going to hold on to that newsletter for later. Everybody good with that? Give me a yes. How many links do we add to the end? Usually I add 3. You can add as many as you want. Okay. I'll show you some key things with that in a minute, but there you go. Okay. Now, we have built a newsletter brand. We've built our first newsletter. What we have not done yet, you guys, what we have not done yet, and I'm going to open up our newsletter so that you guys can, see that. What we have not done yet is we have not gotten any subscribers. Give me a yes if you're following me on that. We have not gotten any subscribers for our newsletter yet, right? Okay, so let's talk about this. I told you guys that you needed a web page builder and you needed a autoresponder. I'm going to show you how to set both of those up now. Give me a big yes if you want to see those things. As I said in the beginning of the call, you do not have to use the autoresponders that I'm using. SeekLetter is autoresponder and web page builder agnostic. We don't care. It works. So the idea here is we're going to use an autoresponder here, and we're going to use a web page builder. So I'm going to show you first how to build the web page. Can everybody see the refuse to rest? I built these before you guys got here so that you could see them and not have to look. This is as simple as the opt-in page needs to be. Everybody good with that? This is it. It's my logo at the top that I showed you guys we built earlier. And then it says, if you're tired of feeling older than you are, Refuse to Rust delivers the science-backed strategies every week to help men reclaim their energy, strength, and edge after 40. Okay? Everybody good? Everybody good so far? Alfred, hang on to that question, buddy. Okay? Hang on to that question. So we've got our newsletter. If I were to jump in here right now, I could put in my email address, but give it a second. I also need a thank you page. When somebody signs up and they put their email address in the box, I need a page that says thank you, go check your inbox. Does everybody understand the 2 pages you need to start building your newsletter list? Give me a yes if so. Okay, cool. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is show you ActiveCampaign. If you can see the ActiveCampaign software on your screen right now, give me a yes. And it's a whole thing. You don't have to worry about this too much, but there you go. What I'm going to do here, you guys, is I'm going to go to contacts. I'm going to go to list. And I'm going to add a list. And I'm going to add a list that is named after my newsletter. I've already got one. It is called Refuse to Rust. There it is right there. Can you guys see Refuse to Rust? That's just me doing exactly what I said. New, add a list, and we got a list. Okay? So we got a list. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to do one more thing. One more thing. When I've got this list ready here, I'm going to go build an automation. So in automation, we're going to start from scratch. We're going to start from scratch, and then we're going to build just this. And by the way, all major autoresponders do automations like this. So when a customer subscribes to the list Refuse to Rust that we just built, I want to send an email. Does everybody understand why we're doing this? Say yes or say no, and I will tell you either way. But say yes or say no. If you don't understand why we're building a autoresponder, okay, here's the deal. If you don't understand, let me explain. When somebody signs up by putting their email address in the box and they land on this page, I want to have an email waiting for them in their inbox that they can go find and move out of spam or move out of whatever folder it lands into their main inbox. And it gives them a welcome. It's just an onboarding email. Give me a yes if you understand now. So when I'm going to build this automation, you guys, when I'm going to build this automation, I just want a confirmation that's in their inbox that says, you said you wanted this. You said you wanted this. Yeah. This app basically operates as CE did. Yes, I need everybody to understand. There's nothing unique about Customer Engine. There's nothing unique about ActiveCampaign or GetResponse or any of these autoresponders these days, really. It's just about, can you build a list of people? Can you build a list of people and get them on and send them an email? So when they opt into that list, then we're going to send this email. Okay, and let me show you this email real quick just so you can see it. Obviously, I put my logo that I showed you guys here at the top, and then welcome to Refuse to Rust. Here's exactly what lands in your inbox every morning. All I'm doing them is telling them what to expect. By the way, I didn't write this. If you go all the way down here to the bottom, I had my AI write the welcome email. And all I'm doing here, you guys, is just, I was lazy. I did proofread it and make sure it said everything I wanted it to say, but there you go. Okay. So what we're doing inside of here is having a welcome email. So I saved this email so that it's good to go. And what we're going to do now is all this does is when somebody signs up for your stuff, we're going to send them this email, period. Give me one more number one in the box if this makes sense to you and you're good to go. Give me a big number one in the box if this makes sense to you and you're good to go. Okay? So all I got to do now is remember, it said anybody that signs up to this list, is going on the list, but they're also getting this first email. And then I turn the autoresponder on to active so that it actually works. By the way, this is kind of how it works with most autoresponders. Now, there's one more thing I need to do. I have to make sure that I connect this opt-in box to the autoresponder. So whatever page builder you're using, there's going to be a place that looks like this. I'm going to go in. This is NetEngine, by the way. I'm going to go in and I'm going to go down to my subscribe button. I'm going to scroll down the side here. I'm going to do submit form. I've got the redirect URL so that it matches my thank you page, which is one of the two pages. I'm going to go to manage integrations. I'm going to turn on the integration. I'm going to select the list that I want it to. You don't have to really do anything else because the autoresponder is handling it. As long as it sends this lead to the list, we're good to go. So we click save. We save here. And now when I put my email address in this box, let's just do it. It should take me to the thank you page, put me on the list, but also send me an email. Give me a yes in the box. If so far so good, you understand what we are building here. If so far so good, you understand what we are building here. Pretty decent. Did I do okay? Cool. Can't you just use autoresponder opt-in page? Yes, Richard. Richard says, can't you just build a opt-in page in your autoresponder if it has that function? You 100% can. And the reason it works really well is because, is there anything complicated about this opt-in page? Is there anything that's over the top that you need a bunch of bells and whistles about this opt-in page? No. Now, I want to take a step back. How many of you feel like there was some tech set up here? Sure. But does everybody understand after you do this one time, you don't have to do it again? Right? And I want to stop here and say one more thing before we move forward and we actually send out our first newsletter. I want to say one more thing. Does everybody understand that now that you have a page to send traffic to, you could use a tool like Seek Reply. You can use a tool like Authority Seek to get attention to send traffic back to this page and build your newsletter. By the way, that's just for those people that own those tools. I'm going to show you how to get your first 100 subscribers for this in just a minute. But does everybody understand so far what we've got? Yes? So far, so good? Just want to make sure we're all on the same page and that we're rocking and rolling. We good? Okay, so real quick, I want to explain one more thing. And I want to explain one more thing that is important. And I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Okay? I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions here. So far, so good. Okay, good. So what I want to do is I want to open some stuff up so you guys can kind of see this and you get a good sense of what we're doing here. But I want you guys to really, really see kind of the behind the scenes of this stuff. Okay? I want to give you guys kind of the behind the scenes of this stuff. So what I want to make sure that you understand is, hey, when they opt in, they are getting an immediate email. They are getting an immediate email that welcomes them to the party. Everybody understand that that's what we were building? Give me a yes if so. We were just building an email that welcomes them to the party. So if I'm going to pull this up for you guys so you guys can see the welcome to the party email actually in my inbox. Give me a yes when you can see the actual email on your screen. I pulled it over. Can you guys see that? Here's the actual email. Okay, this is in my inbox. This is what we've got. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to move that off the screen for now and make sure we're good here. And my camera's trying to come on, so give me a sec. All right, there we go. All right. So now what I want us to do is this. Can you guys see active campaign again? Give me a number one if so. Give me a number one if so. I've got an opt-in page. I got a few people that have joined my list. By the way, you guys want to join this list? You guys want to join this list just so you can kind of see the setup? By the way, this doesn't cost anything, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this in your chat. Let me know when you've signed up by putting a done in the chat. Like put it in the questions box when you've signed up. Give me a done so you guys can just kind of see this and you guys can see what's happening. Okay, just after you've opted in, I put the opt in there for you guys. Just give me a done when you're good to go. It may take a second for the email to land in your inbox, but when you're done opting in there, just so you can follow along, give me a done in the chat. Okay, we got some people starting to say done, so excellent. Okay, so now that you're on the list, obviously you're waiting on a reply. You're waiting on that first email that's programmed in there. That'll land in your inbox in a couple minutes. Okay, but here's the next part. We want to actually send this newsletter, right? Give me a yes if you understand. We want to send out this. Let's assume this is the day that I'm sending out my newsletter. We're good to go. Now, a couple things you can do. If you wanted to just send this out, you could export this and it's going to export HTML. And this is what the exported HTML looks like. So this is the exported HTML version of this. You can always export the HTML for any of your newsletters to store them for later or use them however you want. But the other thing that's really interesting is the next thing which is the copy HTML. That's how I'm going to use this most of the time. Okay. Now keep in mind, if I was really doing this, I would have compiled this in under about 10, 15 minutes to compile it. Then I'm going to go through and make my own edits into the copy. And I may add some different things. You get the idea. I can always add another section in the editor if I wanted to. So you can do all those things. But the idea here is now I want to actually send this sucker out. So I'm going to go back to my autoresponder. I'm going to get out of automations and I'm going to go to email. Okay. And I'm going to do a start from scratch campaign. And I'm going to put this as Rust, refuse to Rust, issue 1. Okay. We're going to do standard. And I'm going to click next. All right. So from here, I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab my subject line, which is this. And I'm going to pop this in the chat or in the subject line. Okay. Now, from here, I'm going to select my list. I got 19 contacts. It's showing 19 contacts because a bunch of you signed up. Okay. Does everybody understand? I've now selected the 19 contacts that have signed up since you guys did that like a minute ago. Right. So when I get this done, that's the subject line. That's going to be this. I'm going to probably turn off link tracking because I don't care. I just want to see who opens. Now I'm going to go into this section here. Does everybody see? Don't do this if you're inactive. Click this. You're looking for the HTML builder in whatever autoresponder you're using. Okay? So it takes me to this screen. I'm going to start from scratch. Okay? And it logged me out because it hates me. Give me a second. Okay. When you get there, it's going to be this super intimidating screen here. Does everybody give me a yes? Like the HTML editor in your autoresponder may be a little intimidating. Don't be intimidated by it. Don't be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here. I'm going to copy the HTML by clicking this button. And I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go in this intimidating dark window and I'm going to paste. And then boom, there's our email. Everybody got it? Give me a yes if you got it. From there, I'm going to click next. You're going to see a preview of your email there, and then I can schedule it or I can send it now. Everybody see how easy that was? I know that I took my time explaining everything and answering questions and doing all that stuff. But does everybody see that once you get your initial setup done, once you get your core things done, that this is not a hard thing at all? I really took my time for you guys because I really wanted you guys to see how this all works. But I want you guys to understand there is nothing about this process that takes as long as what I just took to do it. Okay. And it's important that everybody understands that. This is fast. The hardest part is getting your initial setup stuff done the first time. And once you're done with that, this gets a lot easier. This gets a lot easier. Okay. So far, so good. Give me a yes if so. Give me a yes if so. Okay. Suggested autoresponder. I use several. You know, I mean, you use what you feel comfortable with. You just got to make sure that you've got a HTML sort of setup. Okay. Cool. Cool. If we build a newsletter for a customer, do we use their autoresponder or ours? When I build things for a customer, I typically use mine so that I have full control over the process. That's kind of a big deal to me. It may not be a big deal to you, but it's a big deal to me. Okay. Okay. Do you do a medical disclaimer to this? Listen, depending on how hardcore you are into giving medical type stuff, feel free to do it. You can always put at the bottom of any of your newsletters, you know, we're not your doctor. Consult your doctor before taking any advice in any of the articles that we link to. You can totally do that. That's totally fine. All right. Everybody makes sense so far. Do you do double opt-in for free newsletters? Not usually, but that's just me. You do what you want to do. How is unsubscribe handled? It's handled the same way it's always handled through the autoresponder of your choice. And if you're using a big autoresponder like ActiveCampaign, The unsubscribe link will always be at the bottom of the email, just like they always do it. Keep in mind, unsubscribes are not handled through us. We're just building the newsletter. It's handled at the bottom of the email. They inject that code no matter where you are. They inject that code themselves. Does that make sense? By the way, let me show you. My copy just landed. Can everybody see this? I don't know if your copy has landed yet, but my copy just landed. And there we go. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Looks pretty good for us just messing around in the last hour. Looks pretty good. And so that's how fast you can put something together and get your opt-in pages up, getting these together. Do you advise daily or weekly news after newsletter publishing? Jay, that's such a great question. How many of you have the same question as Jay with weekly or daily? Weekly or daily? How many of you have the same question? I'm going to give you guys a really like insightful answer, I hope, but something I've learned along the way. When I first start my newsletter, I like all of them to be weekly. But as I grow subscribers and I start to get sponsorships, especially if I'm getting sponsorships, I want you guys to understand I may move to multiple times a week once my audience gets bigger and I'm getting sponsorships. Why? I only typically move. I mean, honestly, it's based on what your topic is. If daily makes sense, maybe you do it from the beginning. But I usually increase the frequency of my non-paid newsletters when I'm getting sponsors because I can get more sponsors. Does that make sense? Because the Monday version may have these 3 sponsors. The Wednesday version may have a different 3 sponsors, and the Friday version may have 3 different ones. Does everybody understand my logic behind why I would do it? I don't want to cram 15 sponsors in one message. You don't want to do that. So if you want to increase your sponsorships, maybe increase the frequency of when you're sending out a newsletter. And that's your. By the way, the question is, how do you get these sponsors, John? I'll make sure I cover that at the beginning or at the end. So stick around and I'll cover sponsorships here in a few. Cool, buddy? Cool? I put something together special for you. All right. So did you have fun building the first one? We're going to build the next one, but did you have fun building the first one? Cool. So the things that I want to stress about this is, did you understand from absolutely almost nothing? Did you understand the process I went through to build? I'll give you guys the templates and all that stuff, by the way. But did you understand what we were doing? That makes sense? That makes sense? Okay. By the way, this next part goes a lot easier because I'm not going to cover building the opt-in page. I'm not going to cover, building a autoresponder from brand new. I'm just going to build the next newsletter so you can see the newsletter part. Does everybody understand that? Just so I'm not covering the technical parts of this. I'm just going to build the next one. You would build the opt-in page. You would set up the autoresponder the exact same way, but this time we're going to do a local. You guys cool with the local? Give me a yes if you're cool with us building a local newsletter from scratch. I'm going to close some of these things down because, like I said, I'm not going to cover the technical side anymore, but I'm going to build you guys a local one out. So let me get rid of some of this so that we've got some more space, and we'll get back into this in a minute. But there we go. Okay. We're going to do local. By the way, when I'm done with local, I need you guys to remind me that I'm going to show you guys how to get your first 100 subscribers for a free newsletter. And then I'm going to show you a Facebook ad. Okay. We'll get into that in a second. But first, let's build the next newsletter. Okay. Can everybody see the back end again? Give me a yes if you can see the back end of SeekLetter. Cool. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a brand new newsletter. So what I would like for somebody to do here is suggest a city for me. Somebody suggest a city for me so that I can build you something from scratch. Okay, excellent. So we've got some great cities here. I'm going to start off with, we have 2 people actually that have thrown out Des Moines, Iowa. Okay, let's do it. So we're going to call this The Des Moines Insider. Des Moines Insider. Everybody got that? So we're going to add this and we're going to say niche, local news for, okay, Des Moines, Iowa. Target audience, residents, Des Moines. I keep doing that. My brain wants to do it that way. Okay. Smart and direct is my tone. Newsletter purpose to inform. Are they Des Moinians? Are they Des Moinians? I don't even know. So my purpose is to inform Des Moines residents of the latest news and events in their community. Des Moinesites, I like it. I don't even know what it is. Des Moinians, anyway. Hawkeyes, yeah, we're just gonna call them Hawkeyes. I like it. So I got that stuff in, but now I gotta like come up with the masthead image. So let's go in with this, and so we're gonna build. I'd build out a logo too, just like I did before. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skip to the actual this thing. So I'm just going to clone this one so that we can do this, and I'm going to get rid of the logo here, and let's just go into elements in Canva. Is that Des Moines? I'm not familiar with their architecture. Yes. Oh, that's right, Christine. Okay. What color should I use? What color should I use? What color should I use? Gold. This is more fun for me because I'm not overly familiar with this area. So we're going to do, just go stretch that out. Like I said, I'll give you guys this template and you can just use this over and over again. Okay. I'll make this bar dark, stretch that out a little. I'm going to go back and just steal my past work. All right. Let's just say the latest news and events. I don't think I need that actually. Let's just, don't need my parentheses. Okay, and now I'm going to make this, a dark color. I'm going to make sure I put the L on latest because I missed that. Everybody got it? Kind of what we're doing here? Now, I think what I kind of do want to do is I kind of want to make this gold a little less transparent. So we got something that looks like that. Everybody got it? Give me a yes if this makes sense. Okay, I am going to go grab this color so that I've got it for in there, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, let me actually change this so that I can do that. I'm going to move Benny out of the way here. We're going to make this background. And I just like to color coordinate everything. And that's just me being nuts. So we got that. We'll move him back to the center there. Okay, now I'm going to download these two. Okay, so we've got this. PNG's fine. I don't want that first image though. I just want those two. We're going to download that. Now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to, in image kits, I'm going to do a new folder just so I can keep things organized. By the way, while I'm doing some of this, how are we doing? Does everybody feel like you're picking this stuff up? Are we doing a decent job of getting this stuff out to you guys? Just want to make sure. Okay. Very decent. Good. I just hope that, I don't want to leave anybody behind. I want to make sure everybody gets it. By the way, as I said before, if anybody gets stuck on anything we did in this call, you hit us up and we will personally help you, or we'll get back on another call with you guys. We are sticking around and good. So 2 and 3, by the way, since I don't have a bunch of different images, I appreciate everybody reminding me today, but since I don't have a bunch this time, we should be good. So thank you. So I'm going to go in. We're going to go back in here, and I'm going to put my masthead image here. Okay. And then I'm going to put my image here. And like I said, you don't have to put your name in there. I don't have a website for this. So it goes right back to the old serial progress seeker for now. And like I said, the last thing is I do want to make sure I get that gold color. I'm not sure if I think I don't have that copied anymore. So let's make sure we grab that gold color and that we've got the color code for it. There we go. You sometimes use a person or persona author name when you're publishing. Yeah, guys, most of my newsletters, I'm not the author. It is somebody that I made up that doesn't exist. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. So we've got this. So what I'm gonna do is featured. I'm gonna do check it out. I'm gonna make the linked version upcoming events. We'll see how that works. We save the newsletter. All right. Everybody got it so far. Give me a big number one if you understand. We just set up this newsletter from scratch. We're good to go. So now that we've got this done, you guys, I have to go in and build something new. So I'm going to open this up. And so I'm going to do this so you can see the old refuse to rust stuff here, right? Can everybody still see the old niche that we were doing? Give me a yes if you can see the old niche that we were doing here. Cool. Now watch what happens when I click this little button here. This is the agency version, by the way. Watch what happens when I click this button here and it takes here. Notice that like now there are no bookmarks here, right? Now there are no bookmarks here. And the reason there's no bookmarks is because this is a brand new setup. Okay, so this is how we stay super organized. All I have to do is flip the switch here and it takes me to the organizational section for that thing. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in and put Des Moines News. Okay, now you can also go into the feed builder and I can put real simple. And now I have some things here. So I wouldn't have to go to Google to do this. So I know, let's click into this one here. All right. So the Des Moines Register. Okay. Now it's asking me to subscribe. I wonder how paywalled it is. Doesn't look too paywalled. So I'm going to go to this front page. This is probably going to be a new site that I'm going to come back to over and over again. Would you guys agree? Would you guys agree that I'm probably going to come back to the register over and over again? Because they've got stuff. They're going to be updated. Awesome. So I'm going to bookmark this. Remember, right now, I'm not adding anything to a bucket. I'm just bookmarking things that I think may be good. And so does everybody see how my feed for this one is feeding me places to go? Rapid City Journal. Let's see about this one. Let's see. It looks like it's going to be a subscribe. Let's see if it's all subscribed, though. I'm betting it's all subscribed, so I'm not going to do it. A lot of old school newspapers have this really weird model where they're doing this, and they're not. This is why newspapers are going to be in trouble. So yeah, we'll see. We may go back there. KCCI. Let's take a look. So this is a TV station in Des Moines, so probably going to be good. I'm going to go back to the front page, and I'm going to bookmark this because this is going to be a good one for me too. Does everybody understand how I'm slowly but surely from my feed and from Google searches finding like really good places? We are Iowa. Okay, cool. Let's get back to the front page. This is going to be a good one. I'm going to bookmark it. If you go back to my feed now, notice that I've got these bookmarks ready to go. Okay. So that's something I'll use later. Let's find one more. Let's see if the Gazette is, it's probably going to be paywalled. Probably going to be paywalled. I don't add things that are paywalled because it's going to be a pain in my butt and a pain in my readers' butts. Okay. Let's see if we can find any more thing. Hawkeye's Wire, that could be good. Hawk Central, that could be good. News Radio 1040 Who, probably going to be good. Let's dig into here. The Voice of Iowa, they're going to have stories and things. So yes, I'm going to bookmark them. All right. So does everybody understand? We've got this. We've got this ready to go. We got bookmarks. We got Des Moines. I can go in. I can actually add a feed. I can say, hey, suggest a feed for me. What would be something that's good? So we could do Des Moines Schools. Could be good. Des Moines Police. Heck yeah. I'm going to add this first. I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to try one more. I'm going to see if Des Moines Police, if it'll give me that again. Let's see. Des Moines Weather. I'm just building up slowly but surely our core stuff. Now, I'm not going to do any more building right now. Obviously, you guys understand over the next 4 weeks of me finding stuff in my feeds and finding stuff all over, I'm going to keep adding bookmarks that I think are like hot sources. Give me a yes if you understand. Bookmarks are only sources where I think I'm going to continually get news. Okay, so from here, what we're going to do, I'm going to click into, let's do the Des Moines Register first. And this, let's see, the Iowa State Fair is going to be a big thing. Let's see what we got here. Okay. It's paywalled too. Damn you, Des Moines Register. So I would probably pull that one out of my feed. And by the way, to pull things out of your feed, you just click the X. All right. So let's see what we got here. That could be good. Let's take a look. We got some tornadoes. Not a super long thing for a featured. And by the way, sometimes with your TV sites, it's heavy video for obvious reasons. And so you got to kind of watch out for that. Let's see what else we got. Okay, this is going to be good. We're going to add this as a featured article for what we've got. So I'm going to start adding things to a bucket. Okay, so add to a bucket. By the way, most of your local stuff the first time is just finding good sites that post news, but are also not paywalled. And you like I said, you don't want to add too many things from one location. Then it just becomes you're just a mouthpiece for that. Google is great for this because it's going to give you this kind of stuff. So we're going to add that. I like Google for local because especially places like this, it's going to give you more good stuff. Okay, so we can get into some of this stuff. Let's go to business. All right, everybody see I got my main stuff. I'm going to go ahead and add the images here by clicking. By the way, sometimes these images will take a second to load. That's totally cool. Even if it doesn't load out, if it says that if the image thing goes green, you're good to go. Okay. Yeah, you could totally add a weather banner inside of it too. You can always add new things. If you wanted to add a new type of story, you go back here. You can go in here to edit, and you can go, hey, I'm going to add a new section. And then whatever you set this as is going to be, if you do featured, worth reading, also check out. If you're going to set that as, it's going to set it as one of these things here. Okay. All right. Let's see here. So let's go back. Let's finish this up. So now I titled this last one events. And so here's what I do. Here's a little trick I do for local things and events. Okay. So I'm just going to go in Des Moines. I searched for news earlier, events. By the way, I need to reiterate, does everybody understand the first time you do this news site gathering stuff is the hardest? After you get your sources lined out, this is 20 minutes tops every time you build a newsletter. The hardest time is when you're building your initial bookmarks, your initial feeds. Give me a number one if this makes sense. I don't want this to feel like, oh my gosh, Ben, I got to do this every time. No, this is one time. This is building your feeds over time. As your feeds are built, this gets super easy. Okay, so I go and I would find like an event center type stuff here. And so this is the Des Moines Symphony. And so like, cool, like they're doing a thing. I'm going to click into this. I'm going to add this to in a bucket for an event. I titled these events. They shouldn't be doing this. For a large city, is it worth adding a section for traffic and construction? You can do whatever you want. Like you guys, sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. Do whatever you want. So here's some more event stuff that's cool. All right, we got Barn Down 420. Cool. So I'm going to add this. And then I'm going to go add this. Because I'm doing local, I'm probably going to add more event type things. Okay. So here's another one with a calendar of events. See what else we got. Let me see if I can click into this. If you can click into it, it's good. So I'm going to add this. Let's do one more and then we'll do it. Okay. Everybody got that? Give me a yes if you're ready for me to hit compile. Give me a yes if you're ready for me to hit compile. Cool. All right, it's going to get to work. Going to get to work. Everybody see what we've got here. I don't really like the yellow background, so I'm going to go with the dark background here. Okay. When it's all said and done, you guys, you got all this good stuff. You've got, now this is titled upcoming events. You could always go in and edit any of this if you wanted to. I could put some dates in here if I wanted to, but that's the idea. It looks sharp. It's easy. It's ready to go. Once you get your news feeds out, local is really good to run a few times a week with sponsorships. Give me a yes if this makes sense to you. And then I got to have a discussion with you about local. How many of you want to do a local in your town and go make a lot of money before you even have a subscriber? Who wants to do a local and make a lot of money before you even have a subscriber? Okay, here's what you're going to do. I want you to find a doctor or a lawyer in town who is pretty much a hustler. Like find the hustlers out there and say, listen, we're about to launch a newsletter. I would love for you to be the main sponsor for the newsletter that we're doing. This newsletter is going to come out one time a week to start. As we go, we may do 2 times a week. We're going to have sponsorships. If you are our main sponsor, you get approval of all the sponsorships we bring in, but so that it doesn't conflict with you. But we want you to be the main person, meaning your logo is on the masthead up here and you are the author down here and you have a link to your website. So they're going to think that your law firm is putting out the local newsletter. You are going to get $1,000 plus per month sponsorship just by doing that. Does everybody understand that? Give me a yes. They want to be a sponsor, but you go find the right doctor or lawyer or real estate agent or car dealership. They are going to want to be the person that is seen as behind this. $1,000 a month and get them signed up for at least a year to be your core sponsorship. You could also go to the chamber for this. You could go to radio stations for them to be the core thing behind this. There is good money in building one of these around a city where there's a radio station, where there is a TV station. You can go to them. You can go to a big lawyer, doctor. Does everybody understand? You don't have to have subscribers to get people to do that because they will see how this will grow their business as the newsletter grows. Give me a yes if this makes sense. After that, you can get sub-sponsorships of people where you're just going to do sponsors doing the sections like this. Like I can add a section here, right? I can add a section. By the way, does everybody see what's happening when I'm clicking this section title? Give me a yes if you see what happens when I click this section. When you click a section, it behaves differently. When you click a section, it behaves differently. So I'm clicking, I click to get sponsored. Did everybody see that, how it changed colors? So now it's sponsored. So what I wanted to do here is, let's say that we got a sponsor, like down the road, I add the sponsors. You don't have to add them here. You can add them in the collection phase if you want to, but it toggles between things. Also, one more thing, does everybody see that you could rewrite your entire newsletter, even in the editor, and it will rewrite it all with the AI from scratch? You can also go into an individual section and just rewrite an AI section with AI, or you can rewrite it yourself. Does everybody understand those things? Does everybody understand, to get this out there, all we're doing is setting it up. Now, your initial sponsor, you don't, if they're going to be the one on the masthead, they're going to be the one that is considered the writer of the newsletter. You don't need subscribers. After that, though, sponsors will come on board as you get subscribers. Where is the number one place that you start advertising this newsletter without spending a dime? You go to Facebook. Let me open a Facebook window for you so you can see specifically what I'm talking about. You go to Facebook, and for local, you would type in the name of your location. And I want you to find groups. Does everybody see? We got Des Moines small business listings. We got Des Moines, Iowa. We've got all these groups where people are 36,000, 29,000, and we get in those groups. We get in those groups. Now, can I tell you what to post in said groups? Give me a yes in the box if you'd like for me to tell you what to post in said groups. Okay? Go in to the groups and say, hey guys, I want you all to know that we're in the middle of putting together a newsletter that goes out once a week about all the cool things that are going on in Des Moines. And what are some cool things that you guys have coming up that maybe we could put into our newsletter to advertise for you? Now, what people are going to do when you do that, they're going to give you things, but they're also going to go back to your profile. They're going to go back to your profile and find a link. Hey, where's the link? Hey, here's the link if you want to check it out. That's going to work. Don't just go in. We just started a newsletter. Come sign up. Don't do that. Ask them if they have anything worth adding to this week's upcoming newsletter. Give me a yes if this makes sense. Give me a yes if this makes sense. Use Authority Seek to post these Facebook groups. No, just go post exactly what I told you to post. Okay. Who gets additional later sponsor money if you have a major sponsor? I tell them you're the main sponsor. You were said writer behind it, but we're going to go get other sponsors. You could approve of those sponsors. You know, we're not going to go get a competitor of yours, but we get paid all of that. We get all the money for that. Now, here's what you can do. If you want to charge them $3,000 a month, you want to charge them $3,000 a month, and you want to say, hey, we'll split sponsorships with you, so you get paid for that too, you can do that. You can do whatever you want. But that's the point. Does everybody understand how to start the local, how to get your first sponsor, how to go on Facebook to get your first 100 subscribers for your local, and then grow from there? Give me a yes if so. Give me a yes if so. Cool. By the way, what I just taught you about going into a group like this, you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing. Where are you sending people on Facebook? I'm sending them to my opt-in page like I showed you guys we built before. Does that make sense, Linda? Cool. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. How many subscribers do people start paying you as a sponsor? I will go through that at the end, so stick with me, okay? I'll get through more of that at the end. Okay, so fit over 40, same thing. If you're doing a niche newsletter, go into any of these groups and say, hey guys, I'm starting a newsletter on this kind of fitness. Guys over 40, what are some great websites that you guys go to get your stuff so that we can include some of those sites in our newsletter? Does everybody understand what I just said of what you're posting in those groups? That's it. Go in and say, hey, we run this newsletter. It's called this. It's for men over 40 that are, doing this. And hey, what are some good websites that you guys go to for information so that we can include them in our newsletter? And then people are going to come to your newsletter. They're going to ask what the link is to your newsletter because they're interested in that topic. That's how you get the first ones. Do you check with the Facebook group admins before asking? No, because I'm not advertising my newsletter. I'm asking for people, hey, what do you follow on this topic? That's how you get around it. Donna says, who owns the local list of your major, if your major sponsor drops out after the first year? You do. You guys own all of the list. The sponsors, they're getting paid. They are paying you to be the face of the newsletter. They're not paying you to own any of it. Great question. Okay, real quick. Do all of you understand how to start a local, how to start a niche free, Both of these are free with sponsorships. Do you understand how to do it? How to get your first 100 subscribers? In a minute, I'll give you more on how to get sponsorships, but do you understand the basics of those things and how SeekLetter makes it easy to create the content once you get your feed? Give me a yes before I move on to the next thing. Okay. I want to go through real quick, and I won't take long on this. I want to go through real quick how we built a paid version. The paid version is a little more complicated. Can everybody see this sales letter? Give me a yes if you can see the sales letter. This is very basic, but this is the paid one. This is, you don't see it yet? Let me know when you see it, when it pops up. Cool. I'll link you guys to this. This is for our Smart AI Entrepreneur newsletter. People pay us $100 a year for this. You pay $100, you get an edition every single week on a Monday. Okay. I'm not going to go over the copy here. You can see what the copy is. I will tell you this. All it's doing is normal copywriting stuff. You can go look at this. You could build a thing like this pretty easy. You could literally get your newsletter ready, and then you could have the AI write the copy for you and then just put it on a web page. This is it. When somebody comes to here and they click, they are taken to here where they can sign up to pay for said newsletter. Okay. In the back end of this software, this is done with Samcart. And in the back end of this, if I were to go into my Smart AI Entrepreneur letter, I want to show you guys this because it's important. Let me actually type this in for you. Type this in, hang on. Everybody see this? So here's the Smart AI Entrepreneur newsletter, the back end of it. And all I want to do is show you guys, I want to show you guys a couple key things here. I'm going to show you guys a couple key things here. Let's see here. That's the 99. That's our thank you page. So you've got that. Let's see here. Okay. Can everybody see apps up here? And I'm not going to go through a big Samcart, tutorial here because you guys may be using a different cart. But in the back, we have apps, and we have Active Campaign connected to the back end through apps. And when somebody pays us, they get added to this email list inside of Active Campaign. If they stop paying, it automatically removes them from said list. So as long as they keep paying us for the subscription, they're on the list. And if not, they're taken off. That's how it works. So you have sales page, button that links to the Samcart link. When you buy through Samcart, it automatically takes you on and off the list. Now, those of you that understand how we work, we also have an upsell funnel where we sell this Smart AI Entrepreneur. If I were to click into this, I'll show you this just so you guys get an idea. This is what the page looks like. That is the upsell. This is, hey, you already bought something from us, but now, and this is a completely different letter that sells our thing. And that's how we sell the other. We either have a front end sales page that looks like this, or we have it as an upsell. A little more complicated, but that's okay. My advice is this. Can I give you guys some smart advice for some of you that are just starting newsletters from scratch? Can I give you some advice for those of you that are starting from scratch that's going to make you a lot of money? Here's what I want you to do. Start a free newsletter first. Give me a yes if you understand. Start a free niche or a free local newsletter first. Build that list up with people signing up just to get the information. When you have that list, then build a paid version of it. Maybe you get some bonus content. Maybe you get extra stuff. Build a paid version of it or a related newsletter and use your original newsletter that's free with all those subscribers that are interested in that topic. Use that. Become your own sponsor. And pitch your paid stuff in that newsletter. This gets dramatically easier when you're not dependent on Facebook ads to build up a paid version. just get them on the free, and then you get to advertise for free every single week for your paid thing. You'll make a fortune doing that. Give me a yes if this makes sense. Everybody got it? Don't worry about a paid version first. Build up 1,000 subscribers for your free. Build up 3,000 subscribers for your free. And then it gets real easy to rock that. Everybody good so far? Give me a yes if so. By the way, if you want to advertise, I also built you a template. Here is our refuse to rust. You can have this template. All it is logo, related picture, and then a pitch. If you're tired of feeling older than you are, Refuse to Rust delivers the science-backed strategies every week to help men reclaim their energy, strength, and edge after 40. Subscribe. Put that up, and then the copy for your ad is going to look something like this. By the way, does this look real familiar? Does this copy look familiar? Give me a yes if this copy looks familiar. Have you guys seen this copy before? This is just, hey guys, ready to get in the best shape of your life after 40. I wouldn't run it from the bin page, but you guys got it. This is just the copy from the onboarding email. The Refuse to Rust weekly newsletter was designed for you. Here's exactly what lands in your inbox every Monday morning. And you give them the 4 things that you're going to talk about inside your newsletter. And then attach the picture. I'll give you guys this template. All you have to do is switch out stuff. So if I was doing, Des Moines, then obviously we'd move the text up here so that and we'd change it to white, and you guys get the idea of where I'm going with this, right? Everybody got it? Yeah. Okay. Rob says for paid newsletters, you're still using SeekLetter, correct? Yes. We are moving everything off of the GPTs that were helping us write it, and we are using SeekLetter for all of our newsletters. In the upcoming weeks, everything will be moved over. We built this tech for us. Okay. Do you recommend creating socials connected to your newsletter? Here's the thing. Don't go build a bunch of stuff for your newsletter until you see that it starts to grow without you having to build it. You don't need social media pages for your newsletter because you don't have to run ads. You don't need a bunch of extra stuff. Literally just go get in some Facebook groups as yourself and talk about what you're building. People will join up because it's free. You don't even have to have a vanity URL. You can use a real chill URL that has nothing to do with you. Like I could use my SeekLetter stuff up here. It doesn't matter. It's the content that's the star, not you. So don't go build a bunch of stuff that's branded like news. Don't get in the trap of building a bunch of shit and staying away from the thing that matters. Are you getting the opt-in page in front of people that might be interested? Give me a number 1 if you heard me and you understand what I just said. Don't go crazy with building websites and branding and all that. Get your damn opt-in page in front of the audience and see if they sign up. If they do, you got a winner. If they don't, maybe go back to the drawing board. Okay? Can we export the completed newsletter as a physical PDF? No, you can export it as HTML and you can upload that HTML and link people to it. We don't have a PDF function in here for that because the link works pretty well. By the way, you can upload that HTML anywhere and just link it. And it's pretty easy. Like we use Dropbox to do that sometimes. Make sense? The reason we don't use PDFs, and I need to say this. The reason we don't use PDFs is because it would mangle your stuff and it looks weird on devices. I want everybody to really understand something about what we're building here. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Let me actually let me export this. Does everybody see what's happening? And Alfred, this is specifically for you. Do you see what's happening when I do this? Everybody see what's happening? What's happening to the text? And let me do this. If we were to export this as a PDF, There's a reason we built Seek Docs, you guys. PDFs suck. I know it's what we've all used for years, but like they're not great on different devices. Like small device, like look at this though. Does everybody understand what's happening? The reason we're using HTML is because we can build in responsivity. And that's what's nice about this is you can upload this. By the way, this is on my desktop right now. I'm clicking into a link that's on my computer. But if I wanted to share this, what I would do is upload it to Dropbox and get a link, upload it to S3 and get a link. You guys get the idea. Okay. Pretty good there? Cool. All right. We've covered the ad. We've covered your first 100 subscribers. We covered the trick to getting that sponsor. Ooh, I got to show you this. Hang on. Can everybody see this book? This is special for you guys. This is special for you guys. Can you guys see newsletter sponsor secrets? This is just kind of the icing on the cake that I wanted to give you guys. And what I want you guys to understand is this is a book that, by the way, I was AI assisted with writing this, but I gave a lot of instructions. I went through everything. I approve everything here. This is kind of our playbook. I fed it kind of all the things that I wanted it to do from like 20 different things that I'd been collecting over the years. And like some of it was things that I'd written, some of it was things that like friends that are good at this have written. And what it did is it started breaking down building sponsorships. Now, some just an example of some things here that I think are really, really interesting here is pricing your sponsorships. Give me a yes if you see pricing your sponsorships. Okay. So this is pricing. So if you're doing sponsorships, this is where you're going to be giving, like, you're going to get really, really great setups for this. Local regional, for every 1,000 people on the list, you're going to charge around $10 to $30 for a sponsorship per issue. Does this make sense? Give me a yes. If you have 1,000 people reading your newsletter, if you have 1,000 people reading a local newsletter, you're going to charge $10 to $30 for that per issue. Okay. Now you can tweak this out, but like that's what I want you to be thinking. If I can put a message in front of 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, though this is cost per 1,000 impressions, but if I can put that in front of 1,000 subscribers per issue, I'm going to charge $10 to $30. So if you're running 4 issues a month, does everybody understand the math here? Does everybody understand the math here? By the way, this is just one thing. So the sponsorship cost changes over time. Yes. Now, when would it not? Well, listen, if you support us right now when we've got 100 subscribers or we've got 1,000 subscribers and you lock in for a year, your price will not go up as our audience goes up. Do you understand the benefit for somebody locking in with you over a long period of time? Okay. Now, this is just one part of this. I've got a lot of stuff in here for you guys, but this is something that you guys all are going to have access to. It's going to be linked in your members area. The second you get off this call, this will cover the sponsorship. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send them to us. Give me a yes. If this is helpful, if this sets everything up for you, good. Okay. How'd we do? Do you feel like this was a good spend of 2 hours of your day to get locked in on how the software works, some best practices, how to go after local, how to go after niche, kind of how we do all this stuff? I will get you guys a list of links in the members area. We'll keep adding stuff there. Go get to work, get rocking and rolling with this thing, and then let me know. Let me know. I got some questions. If I do have a podcast or YouTube channel about my niche, I could use the newsletter to promote it. 100%. 100%. The best part about these newsletters is you can build a list and then you can do anything with the list. Oh, reminder from Alfred. Are the photos coming from the original article? Yes. It's pulling them automatically, but remember, Alfred, you can always change the images in the newsletter editor once you get it compiled. Okay? I'm a bit inspired and a bit overwhelmed. I just need to start simple and then scale to go. Rob, do me a favor, buddy. You get yourself a niche that you want to go after, and then do it a little bit at a time. And if you need any help, buddy, I'm here for you. You know that. I'm always here if you reach out to help you with like getting extra stuff. And that goes for everybody here. All I really care about is you go pick a good niche that you want to go after. And if you get stuck on any of the tech stuff, the Serial Progress Seeker team is here to help you. Give me a number one if you heard me on that and you will take advantage of that offer. I hope you will. I hope you will. I hope you will. How to add personal photos? That's a great question. So let's get in here and let me show you something. Can you see, Richard? Can you see this? Can you see this? Okay, so I've got the Des Moines up. So Richard, let's say severe storms, right? So we got severe storms here. I maybe want to change this image. So what I want to do is I want to find a different image. Right now, I'm not going to find a storm image. I'm just going to show you guys. Hey, I've got some images in here. Let's say I wanted to add. I'm just uploading my images as the image kit. I can copy the URL to this. I can get back into said newsletter and I can put this image in this section. So right now it's a picture of a storm. Let me paste in my image here. See how that works? See how that works? All I did was grab the URL from my image hosting up here and it's good to go. If I wanted to go to Google and I wanted to type storm pictures, this is the section. I go down to the bottom of the section where it says image, and that only appears if you hover. And now that image is there. Does that make sense, everybody? Can you show adding an affiliate link like you did on Friday? Sure. You mean do it from the builder? Let me just go and use the sidebar here. Can you guys see the sidebar? Give me a yes if you can see the sidebar. So I'm going to type in Des Moines restaurants. Des Moines, sorry. So Mulberry Street Tavern, let's just use that one. Grab this URL. Actually, I don't have to grab the URL, but just in case, I'm going to actually grab this picture just in case, but okay. I'm going to add this to bucket. Everybody see how I added it as a bucket? I'm going to change this from upcoming events to sponsored. And I'm going to click fetch an image. It blocked me fetching the image. Okay. We'll see what we can do. So I'm going to copy this image. By the way, some websites are just going to block image. That is what it is. So let's compile this issue. Is it harder to grow a niche versus a local newsletter? No, it's really not. So here's my sponsored article. There is no image there. So I'm going to see if we can't pull in and to see everybody see how it couldn't pull the image on its own. So I just copied the image the old fashioned way, copy image address. I went in here and I pasted it down here and then it pulled that image. Give me a yes, if so. Yeah. What are the pixel dimensions for these photos? I've not found too many that it didn't because it's like it's pulling very simple. Like if you look at this out, it's this size. I'd have to figure out what that is. I can't remember what we actually put in there initially. I'd have to ask the dev team. But there you go. Pasted it where? So John, check this out. John, every time, do you see the sponsored section here, John, and everybody else? This is a great pick. This is a great question from John. So John, every time I hover, do you notice that something pops up at the bottom of that section? Give me a yes if you guys see that. Do you guys notice that every time I hover, this little link and image section pops up at the bottom, right? And so you have to paste an address. By the way, somebody says, why can't I just upload an image? Because you got to think about it like this. This is going out on the web. You can't have an HTML plus a folder that goes into your email. You could do that if it was a web page. So the reason we're doing this is because it goes out in emails. And every time somebody opens up that email, it's calling images from the web. It doesn't have an extra file that goes with the page or the copy to do that. So it's a way that things are constructed. So the easiest way for you guys to do it is we're linking URLs so that it always can pull up an image, even if it's a weird sort of email client that they're pulling it up on. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, just understand it's technical and we've set this up. So there. Can you resize the photos? No. Here's the thing. I had to make a choice. And I'm sorry about this, but let me explain. My choice was simple. Do I allow a ton of customization with this, or do I make it so that it always looks good for whoever's using it? Does everybody understand the choice that I was up against? Do I make it so it always looks good, or do I allow a bunch of customization? And guys, I apologize, but I picked that no matter what, it always looks good. The reason is because there's too many of you that are fumbling with HTML and web builders and all this stuff. And when I say too many of you, I am included in that group. Do you guys think Adkins in his history has wasted time on things that did not matter when what mattered was building the list and sending out a good product? And that's what this is. So, guys, there is a lack of certain customization things with this because I'd rather it look good every time out of the box, no matter what you build. Does that make sense? I hope you're okay with that. If you want to do a bunch of customization, feel free to build yourself a newsletter from scratch the hard way. I've been doing that for years. And sometimes my newsletters come out great, sometimes they don't. So we built this so that I never had to worry about the stuff that really doesn't matter. Again, it's getting out good information. Ben, do you have a best practices document for setting up the emails that we're sending from for email deliverability? The way these are set up are pretty good. They're set out as HTML pages. And as long as you've got people that are opening up your emails, you're good. So remember that onboarding email that I told you about? Remember that onboarding email that I told you about? The onboarding email, them moving that into their main inbox is key. So the reason that we do an onboarding email is so that they go to their inbox to look for it, and then they take it out of spam if it lands there. And then if they have marked it as good, you should be good as long as people keep opening your stuff. People will keep opening your stuff because they want to know about the topic that you're sending email out on. So the deliverability for these things are going to be high. Okay. How are you using Authority Seek and other tools? Linda, get your opt-in page ready to go, put it on your web page, and then use Authority Seek, use Seek Reply to get attention. And when people come back to look at your stuff, you're going to have a link to your newsletters, and that's how you grow it. Obviously, you use Authority Seek to go after the kind of news stories that would be related to your stuff. You're using Seek Reply to go after influencers that are already in your niche, and then people that follow them are going to be into your topic. Hopefully that makes sense. Could the image pixel dimension be added to the user manual? The only time you're going to be worried about dimension is this image, which is the top. And I have a template for you right here that is that size, if that makes sense. And the size of this image is 1800 by 600. And that is the only time that you're going to be anytime you are sizing an image, I have already got you a template here and you could pull that stuff there. Hopefully that makes sense. Ben, is there an ability to add RSS feeds for ongoing receipt of info? Yes. If you go into, let me open it up. If you go into the news feed section here or the bookmark section, you can go back here. You can go to the plus button. You can go to RSS right here, and you can put in an RSS feed right here, and it will pull just like a Feedly does or something like that. So you don't have to like worry about that. If you just want to pull from an RSS feed, that ability is already baked into the back end of the news feed section there. So do you set up a domain and associated email address? I don't at first. I get the darn thing out. I see if people are going to sign up. Once I start getting traction, then I start branding and domains and associated email addresses, things like that. I can see how this would work great, even if you don't have your own products or share affiliate products. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. You guys ready to go to your members area and go download this stuff? It's going to take me a couple more minutes to get these templates, these image templates for you guys. I'll have them uploaded here in just a couple minutes. The second I get off this call, I'm going to pass these template links to Ashton in the next hour. You should have these things. You should already have the SeekLetter extension in your members area, your respective members area. You should also have the user manual that is right here. You should also have the sponsorship manual, which is right here. And we're going to get these things up for you guys fast. If you have any questions, feel free to fire them our way. If you feel lucky to be here and that you made the right decision jumping in. Give me a lucky number 7 in the box right now. I hope you're as excited as I am. And remember, you made me a promise before you got inside. The second you get your first subscribers, your first sponsors, make sure you guys do me a favor, cut me a short little video that talks about how this tool has helped you. This tool has helped you. Let me ask you a question, and I just got to poll you guys. Give me a yes if you're still with me. I'm about to let you go, and I'm gonna get these links up. But give me a yes if you're still with me, and I want to ask you a really important question. And this is for future stuff. This is for future stuff, and I just want to poll you guys. If I were to build, if I were to build a full platform that handled all of the email, that handled all of the opt-in pages, put together even a little blog that had your newsletters and would protect them from public view unless they opted in. And I brought everything into one platform. And then I gave everybody that was here a little bit of a discount the first few months because you guys got this tool. Would that be something you're interested in? So you didn't have to do any of the tech stuff down the road, and it was all in-house in one platform. Would that be something you're interested in? And like I said, I've not decided if we're going to do that or not. But if I did that, would you, including the autoresponder, all of the stuff, would you guys be into us building something like that? By the way, you can use this tool forever. This is yours. You can connect your own pieces of the puzzle, and I'm not ever going to charge you for any of this. But if I built a tool, I mean, we'd have to charge monthly because there's email cost and there's hosting cost. But I would also make sure I gave you guys the first 2 months free because you've invested in this. And I would also bring you guys in first, and I'd make sure we covered what you guys. But I'm not saying that you guys would be into it, but if you would you guys be into us doing that? I don't know that we're going to, but I wanted to see if that would help you. Just take some of the tech stuff out. Okay. Well, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Let's see what else we got. I got a question from Donna. For your major sponsor for a local newsletter, how do you recognize them in each issue? Their logo is on the masthead, and then I have them as the author, like a picture of somebody or the logo of the business as the author, and then I've got the URL to their website underneath the author too. Does that make sense? And if you want to really go over the top, you can also do a sponsored post for them in the copy. That's a great question. It's a great question. Okay. Where is subscribed? So you need the subscribed manual. It is in your Ashton, it's in their members area, right? It's in their members area. For those of you that haven't seen it yet. This is your subscribed manual that I included. You guys had that as of Friday, but it's a pretty good read. And anybody that wants to read this, there it is. And it's also in your members area. Okay. That said, you guys, thank you all for being here. I hope you had fun. We're going to go get the members area. We already got some stuff in there. We've already got some stuff in there, but we're going to get the rest of it in there in the next couple of minutes. Thank you all so much. Go to work. Let me know if you have questions when you have your successes with this. I need to know every step of the way. Let us brag about you publicly. That would be really, really fun for us. Okay. You guys be good. Take care of yourselves. We're going to go get to work on getting the last couple things in the members area. Anything you guys need, reach out to us at drbenhelp.com, and we're there. Thank you guys again for your time, and happy newsletter writing. I cannot wait to see what you guys build. All right. Be good. Take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you soon.